Okay, so some of you might be familiar with the fact that I do this, but when I get these boxes or I get any sort of boxes, I cut out the side and I turned it into a bookmark. But I thought it'd be a great idea to do kind of like some reviews for these. For instance, just on like my initial feelings for him. This guy is great. This is Raptor, Talon, General Leader, Cobra Trooper, yada yada yada. He's great. He's got the claw hooks. He came with a pistol, a knife, everything that you see here. His wings I got because with Captain America coming out, as well as me being a fan of Spider Man, I thought they would make good vulture wings. But in general, I really like this guy. He's got a mohawk under his little bird helmet mask thing. But for the most part, I kind of like him. He very bird aesthetic themed. The figure is put away. The biggest issue I have is that his bird companion, which you see in the photo right here, does not have his wings flayed out, which normally he does. But I thought I'd take the time and I'd show you, like what I do with this. So I cut that out. So this is done basically, mostly because the plastic I use the plastic for windows for like my miniatures and my models and stuff, but at the current time of writing, or I guess speaking, I don't have any ability to do custom stuff, so this is going to go to the recycling center. And then depending on if I like this, I would keep it as a background or I'd cut it out. For him, it's kind of got a lot of holes from where they had the little safety wires in. So this one in particular is not that great. So I'm not going to really hold on to this. But then we have our Grenadier here, our Iron Grenadiers, Grenadiers, these guys. These dudes, these Destro looking dudes came with quite a few weapons. You've seen his weapons more because they're the ones I use the rhinestone for. Got the big gun. He's got the bats behind him because I guess this is supposed to be a leader and he's supposed to have the golden bats. I haven't been able to get a hold of the bats yet, so I haven't used it. But this is a pretty solid piece, so I'm probably going to hold on to this because this is nice. It's firm. It doesn't have too many of the holes picked up. The plastic, I believe I think I might have already tossed it. But you go from one side, right? And you cut, and you get about halfway, right? Or I guess we can go all the way. I guess the other box is bigger, so usually I just go halfway. You fold it out, and then this side, there's usually like a steam. There's usually this little part that's made to hold on to the rest of the cardboard. This is great for, by the way, so talking about like custom stuff, let me just rip this off. Let me rip this off and I can show you. So for miniatures, for just stuff in general, for the smaller G.I. Joe classified stuff, especially when it's got the side window, is so freaking useful. In fact, I actually might hold on to this rather than the other plastic that you saw me toss, because this is just a solid clear plastic that you can use as a window. And then if you put something behind it, it can appear to be like a window looking out on something. So like I have some nature photos for National Geographic, and if I put this on top of the photos, right, it'll look like a window or it'll look like a painting or something like that, especially in like photos and stuff. So these really useful. I recommend you keep that. But we're still getting our bookmark, so let's go back to that. Also, if I like the artwork on the back, sometimes I will keep that. You'll see that in a second. So that's all through. Then you just chop off the side as close to the little fold as possible. And then usually there's a little fold. It sometimes cuts off the art or the top of the mask or whatever, the top of the helmets. But I think that's pretty good. This is pretty solid. And I like the way that this looks. So now we got two bookmarks and we got some plastic, which is useful. This can just go into recycling. We're not going to keep or hold on to that. Actually, I could see this being like a propaganda like photo, like join us today. You know what? I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, we're gonna keep this. I can see this being used as propaganda, as like the like join today type scenario. So we're gonna try to cut just a little bit over so I have enough room to work with it. And now I have like framework for how to use the rest of it. This isn't the first time I've done this. For the retro card, I cut out the Duke's little card that he comes with. So this isn't the first time I've cut this. And I mean, you pay for the figure, you might as well get the most you can out of it. You guys know that I already take the weapons packs and I fill them up with garbage so I can use this as like a scenery prop. That's exactly what I did for this. This has just got garbage in it now. I put a little hole in it so I could put the turret on top because I just thought that was funny. But there you go. Now I've got a little weapon kit. Now I know it says Action Force and stuff like that, but you know, put that in the background of a photo, put something on top of it, and booyah, you're not even going to notice that. So we just take the rest of our garbage and we're going to put it aside to go to the recycling center. And then we're going to switch on over to Marvel. Now, Marvel's really interesting because sometimes their card backs have logos attached to it. So I've done it for a few of them. I don't think I'm going to keep this one. It's the X-Men logo. Mostly because if I cut off the sides, right, it's going to look like that, which I guess isn't too bad, but I'm gonna pass on it. But I do want magic here. Now, I don't recommend keeping the plastic for the Marvel Rivals simply because they're usually warped, you know, and so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. If all you have is Marvel Rivals, then they're still going to work for what I said before. It's just going to make your windows or your artwork or whatever you decide to do it, look a little rough. Magic here, she's a great figure. The biggest issue I have with her is her shorts are ironically too short for me. I'm not a huge fan of the underwear look. Like, they don't look like shorts to me. They just look like panties. So I've got some fabric and I'm going to go over and I'm going to give her kind of like a skirt, like a battle skirt, because I think that's going to look cool on her. If I had some pants or something like that, I would switch that over. I don't have any of my other figures, so that's unfortunate. She came with 2 swords, a big sword and like a little tiny blue sword, which kind of looks like a lightsaber to me. She came with a dragon, which was cute, and then she came with like a flaming skull head, kind of like a Ghost Rider head. I like that. I don't normally keep the back of these, but sometimes what I do is I will keep the top of the logos, because some of the Marvel Legends have little symbols on the top of that, and I'd keep that. But the cool thing about this is that you get 2 bookmarks. Now we're taking off the back. Taking off the back of the plastic. So there you go. And you can see that it's warped based off of, like, that's the classified. So I prefer classified, but warped isn't too bad. If you're doing maybe custom vehicles, that'll work for it. You can always just cut it where it's warped, and then it'll be easier to manage and easier to use. But in general, these clear plastics like that, or even when sometimes you get plastic that is a different color, and that's great. And then obviously, like, where they have the glue on, right, that's where you can like make your windows. That's where you can like put the glue on. Also, you can just soak this in some hot water and this cardboard will come right off. But for going back to what I was saying, Marvel Legends, we're gonna cut it like this, and then we're gonna recut it. So we're gonna cut like this, and then we're gonna cut. Nope. Then I'm gonna drop it on the floor, you know, as you do. There's also the cool X-Men logo, if you like that, if you wanted to like just cut that off and keep that. But then I like my bookmarks straight and narrow, you know. So you just take it and you cut it off like that. So, and then you can align, once you do it at the bottom, you can align your scissors up with the rest and then cut it off. It's not going to be perfect, but it's not really supposed to be. Then we're just going to cut along the bend in the box, like the default bend. You lose a lot of art with the X-Men or with the Marvel Legends, which is unfortunate. But you do get 2 bookmarks. So just as a frame of reference, that's the artwork we kind of lost, but this is the artwork we kept. And then, the other side of G.I. Joe Classified has their, I'll use this as an example, has their little, which is what they use for their cards now, like instead of their like character information, their background, they use this stuff. Which you can like download the app and like scan it, and it'll tell you, like Gun Ho is specialized in kissing your mother and stuff like that. I don't care. I would prefer the old way. I think it has I like the backgrounds. I like that they have a little bit of like knowledge. I think even Magic has it. Like a powerful mutant and sorcerer, linear Rasputin wields the soul sword, a weapon crafted from her very own soul. And then it has it in different language. But like even with that, like that gives you, if you're not buying the character for the character, right? Like for Marvel, we all know that they have a bad habit of build-a-figs. So if you're not buying the character for the character, or you don't know the character, you can at least get the background. I'm not going to download an app to scan this crap just to figure out that Gun Ho is a guy with a grenade launcher. I'm just not going to do that. Not my cup of tea, not my homework. Not going to do it. If other people want to do it, by all means, go ahead. Shoot. For this, you want to align your scissors. If you're going to keep the label right up here, you want to align your scissors with the back of the wall, the back of the cardboard wall, and then go across that. And you're going to want to cut that off first, because that's going to make doing the rest of this a lot easier. Because then you just dap, and then you just dap, bap, 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 and then you just bap, 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 and then boom, you got yourself a little X-Men logo, which is pretty solid. The rest of this goes into the pile that will be recycled. Make sure to recycle, by the way. It's useful. I have an example here of a MCU one that they did without the pack before they did went back to the clear packaging. The MCU, for some reason, they do like a mix between having the live action and then the like a drawn version of the live action, and I actually kind of like the way they look sometimes. Like I think Wasp looks a lot better here, even than the actual figure of the Wasp. Then let's see. Oh yeah, we're gonna keep that as a whole. Let's do another G.I. Joe. Actually, you know what? Let's do something bigger. All right, since we're sticking on the Marvel side, I got here Venom Pool, right? Big old Venom Pool, great figure. I got the Build-A-Fig pieces of his arms, legs, chest, and head, but I don't. Or sorry, his legs, chest, and head, but I don't have his arms. So when this came out, I was really excited because I really wanted a Venom Pool, and technically, this is my first Deadpool action figure. He's great. His swords fall off his back, but that's okay because it's kind of designed to give that aesthetic of having his swords and then not having his swords. I wish he had some metal chains like he does in this photo, and then I wish he had like some sort of symbiote effect, but he's just a big figure. And so we're going to cut open this guy now. Now, I cut open the bottom. Did I? No, I went to the top. I'm sorry. Sorry. I went to the top when I opened this the first time. We're going to take this out, right? So that's just the clear plastic. There's only like a few pieces of this I feel like you can really use effectively. But if you dice this up and then you throw it into one of the weapon crate things, it's pretty useful. But also, if you just wanted to like store his pieces, you can just put it in there, and you can do that. That's completely up to the individual. We're gonna take out this, right? And then it's always good to like look at this because sometimes you see details that you don't normally see. Like for instance, they've got little Deadpool little symbols on that, so that's pretty useful. That also could be a nice floor piece for photography. So we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep that. Make sure to use your scissors responsibly, by the way, or throw them on the ground like I do. Don't do that. That's bad advice. drop the phone. Make sure you do that. Do all the stuff that I'm saying. Drop the phone, throw your stuff on the ground, be rebellious, Don't listen to me. Overthrow the government. Don't do that. What'd I just break? I broke something. Did I break something? Is it actually broken, or can I fix it? I sat on this chair. This is how tiny my ass is. I could sit on this whole chair, but I broke it. So I guess my ass is not that tiny. How do you fix it? Well, now we're doing this. You're like, what are you doing, Arson? I'm doing this now because I broke the chair. I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, so it's like that, right? And then this just goes in like that, right? Yeah, there we go. I fixed it. Oh, this is loose. Ah, haha, see? I can fix things when I break them. So we're just going to cut the tape right on the bottom here. Open this up. Hello, see, look, little tiny piece of cardboard. This type of cardboard is great for if you've got to fuse something, or if you got to make something quick. You always use this type of little cardboard to get the job done. Like if you're doing a side, you just cut that, and then you've got two corner pieces that glue will stick to it, and then you can have basically two corner brackets. So this kind of cardboard is pretty useful. You can also just set it up nice, and then I don't know, put a sticker on it, and then poke some holes in it, and then it looks like it's been shot at or something like that. There's plenty of stuff. You have a little table. See, look, little lunch table, Plenty of stuff you can do with cardboard if you give yourself the ability to do it, if you give yourself the creativity. So, let's see. When Wade Wilson was infected with the symbiote, he became the unstoppable venom pool. Kind of figured that, guys. Now, for these guys, he has a big artwork on the back here, and we want to keep that. We want to keep that artwork. So we're going to cut it down the middle, right? Clean cut, so then we can open this, and we can salvage the plastic. Because this is, once again, a great piece. And see, sometimes if you're not careful, you can damage what you're trying to do. Like, look, our bookmark is already damaged. But that's a great example, right? So we ripped it too much, and now this is ripped. But how do we salvage it? Well, we have tinier bookmarks, stuff we can read for our manga. So we're going to cut right above where it's ruined, and no one's going to be able to tell the wiser. Nobody. Also, who's wiser, and why do people want to tell him stuff? Then we're going to cut down the side. That part's going to fall off. And we're going to go right above the red line. Cut it down. We have a nice little Venom Pool logo with that, but we're going to get rid of that. It is nice. I'm personally going to get rid of it. And there we go. Nice Venom Pool. Now see, there's a little scuff on the corner here, right? Sometimes what I do with my bookmarks, because I'm quirky, I cut off the little corners and I make it look like that. I don't know why I like doing that, but I like doing that. That's something nice. Now, I'm not going to salvage all of this. The Deadpool things are cool. It's cool to have these little Deadpool logos. I am going to do my best to salvage this artwork. We're going to cut down, and we're going to kind of cut around into the warnings logo, because then we can just clean it up. I'm going to go above. There we go. I'm going to make it look nicer. Just cut up the edges. Try to keep that red border intact as much as possible, just because that looks really nice. We don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose that nice red border. Cut straight down. Cut across. Cut straight down. There we go. Another cut through here. We're going to try to trim this up, make it a little bit nicer. Little bit nicer. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we got a nice little Venom pool. What to do with this, I don't know, but I like this artwork. And I think I might just put it inside of like a card sleeve holder, like a binder to hold like Pokemon cards and something like that, just to have some cool artwork. Because I mean, like I said, you already have this. So the worst case scenario, right? This just goes in the garbage. And if you're anyone like me, and you want your boxes to, like, you want your figures to have the most bang for your buck. Look at that. You have a little stand. You can just put that somewhere. Boom. You got a little Deadpool logo looking straight at you. Boom. Put that in a sleeve. Put that in a little box, a little box thing. Boom. You got yourself a little Deadpool logo. You want the most bang out of your buck, man. Yeah, I mean, it's consumerism. It's friendly consumerism. You want the most bang out of your buck. You want to get the most use out of these items because it's just boxes. Look, now you got two little Deadpool logos. You can use those as book sleeves. You can use them as little targets. I don't know. I'm going to cut up this one. I'm going to keep this so we have just another bookmark. Another solid Deadpool bookmark. Now, I know you're thinking, Arson, these are nice, but aren't the back of it just going to look like cardboard? Well, yes and no. I don't have an example of it right on me at the moment. Because, like I said, all of my stuff in storage. However, we can use this as a perfect example. You take your Deadpool bookmark, and since it's got its cardboard background and you don't like it, you take it, you tape it to the back of something, right? So now this would be the back of it. Then you're going to cut it. You're going to cut right into it. And you're going to have a little background for this. So one side's going to have the Deadpool logo. The other side would have this. And you can do that. Now, the reason why I said I'm not going to get, I can't show you an example is because there are these books for scrapbooking, which come with a bunch of different backgrounds, right? Some of them are like map pieces. Some of them are like, I don't know, freaking rainbows. Some of them are like wallpaper, right? They're just backgrounds for scrapbooking. But you can easily take those. And it's a big book. You can buy it from like $5 and you get like 100 pages. And you just take that and you put that on the back. And then boom, you know? It's simple. Bookmarks. Everybody needs bookmarks. This is how you get bookmarks. Easy bookmarks. Though I wouldn't say they're free. You got to buy the figures. But they're cool. And then not only that, but it's a nice reminder of like who you purchased, who you have, you know? Like, oh man, I wonder which figure I have. Oh, I have this figure. Oh, I didn't remember I had this figure, you know? Just as a nice little reminder of like what you're reading. And if you're like, oh, I don't have that many bookmarks, or I don't have that many books, go to a library and get books. Libraries are free. You should be able to. We got Snake Eyes over here. He's got the Joe logo, and he's got the Joe Signia on this Snake Eyes. So I guess this is Snake Eyes as a good guy, or he became good, or I don't care. So we're just going to go with I don't care. Got this Joe logo. Now, I think this logo looks better than that logo, personally. Personally, if I had to pick between the two, I think this is a little bit more subtle, a little bit cooler. I do appreciate the flashiness of this. Not to mention, you like, hey, you get your number 7. This is what the Joes used to look like, and now they look like that after they swapped from being plastic. That one fits more with our Cobras thing, so we're going to keep that. This, I have a few of these already, so I don't need to keep this because I already have Gun-Ho. I got Gun-Ho as a Christmas gift because my wife loves me. And then they've got this beautiful artwork, which they do not sell as a poster, and they've updated it, but I want it as a poster because this is cool. I also, hot take, I liked the weird Nerf guns that they were using. I like those. They brought that back, the Gun-Ho's guns. He comes with the Grenadier versus Joe Trooper 2-pack, and it comes with, like, the Grenadier is using, like, the sci-fi guns. I'm buying or I have some weapon packs now, so like now my Joes have like realistic weapons, but I'm also someone who makes my Joes fight my stormtroopers, so I'm gonna use sci-fi weapons. It's fine, but cut out this artwork same way we did the Venom, same way we did everything else. For this, I think I'm just. Oh, also, this came with plastic on the top, so I'll show you how to do this one. Since I'm not going to keep the background, we're just going to go straight down the middle, right? Straight down the middle. Gonna ruin it. Gonna just ruin it. But you don't want to cut, obviously you don't want to cut the top. Go through the top. Then we're gonna, the sides are like folded into it. So I usually just break that one because it's so small and you're not gonna get use out of that. So just breaking that, and then we can just, oh no, that part's broken. So we're gonna try to line our scissors up as level as possible. Straight cut, bada bing, bada boom. You got some flat, you got some side, so you could turn this into like a bunker, or if you have a vehicle, you could turn this into like a vehicle or something. It's also great for miniature stuff. So D&D people, who also collect action figures, remember to keep your plastic because, hey, it's great for windows. Put a candle behind it, and you get a nice. You put a candle behind it, and you put You put a candle behind it. You put wax paper on top of it. It'll look like a old timey window. So that's a little trick. But yeah, so just easy way to get bookmarks. Now, the one people I don't do this for is my Last Ronin. Last Ronin, they got beautiful art pieces. It opens up, Velcro. It's nice. I don't know what it is about these guys. I love them. I love them. I can't bring myself to use these as bookmarks. I just like the solidness of this box. I don't know what it is. They also line up and they make a photo with all the other Ronin figures, but this is a great line. I don't cut open these guys, so I don't do it for all of my boxes. I just do it for the other two brands the other three brands that I collect, because my Star Wars ones, I do it for all of my Star Wars, but that's just because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So there you go. Like I said, easy peasy, eggs and cheesy. This was the chair I broke, but I fixed it. And that's about it. That's all I got to say. I hope you liked this video. This is a longer video. Goodbye. I love you. Goodbye.